Hello. Hi there. Hello. My name's Rachel Whittaker and welcome to another episode of Indie Beauty TV. This is episode 27 so far this year. It's not a solo show. I've got a guest today, as you can see. I'm joined by Pamela. Pamela's here because she's a top women's health coach and is going to be talking to us all about how we can deal with some of the challenges that as female entrepreneurs we're facing, along with short time and things like that. I'm the host of Indie Beauty TV and I'm the founder of Indie Beauty Delivers, which is a community that exists for you guys, all you beautypreneurs out there, to kind of come and hang out in, learn loads of stuff about our industry, and I'm here really to provide you with as much information to really grow and create some super iconic brands. I'm here on Indie Beauty TV, so you know I'm on Facebook. You can get me on Instagram. You can find all the episodes of Indie Beauty TV, all the back episodes on my YouTube channel, also on my podcast, which I only launched yesterday, which I'm very excited about. So you'll be able to get them on there as well. And I always say to you, if you love what I do and you enjoy Indie Beauty TV and everything else that's going on, then you should be on my mailing list, and you can do that by popping over to my website. Anybody who's joining us, it'd be cool for you to say hello, please, just in the comments so that I know who you are. And if you've got any questions, you can ask anywhere throughout this. And also, if you're watching this on replay, because I know a lot of you guys do, please do put some questions in there as well, because Pamela and I will be watching those over the next few days and weeks to make sure we answer everything. I don't want to talk anymore because I've got my guest, and I'm going to hand over to Pamela just to introduce herself, so you can get a feel for who she is, what she does, and where you can find her, because you are all going to want to follow her afterwards.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for that lovely welcome. So yes, I'm Pamela Windle. I'm based in Nottingham, and I'm a women's health coach, and I kind of specialise in that 40+ woman. So the woman that's potentially not in she might be perimenopause, but she might not be in menopause, and also beyond that as well. So the things I kind of do is I look at your lifestyle, your nutrition, what you're eating, maybe even the thoughts you say to yourself, because I forgot to say I'm a hypnotherapist as well. So that all comes into what I do with clients as well. And I also do a few diagnostic testing, so I look at your hormones and also mineral deficiencies and vitamin deficiencies. So kind of really holistic, looking at women's health. And I also run retreats with my daughter. And you can find me on Instagram. My handle name is Pamela Windle there, hormonal coach, and on Facebook it's hormone vitality and wellness, I think.
It's horrible when someone puts you on the spot and suddenly makes you say that. So we've known each other for, I guess, about a year now, isn't it? Because for those of you who don't know, I'm also based mainly in Nottingham as well. And I came across you through networking, just local business networking here in Nottingham. But the age group that you specialise in is very much my age group, and I know the reason I've got Pamela to come on and speak to you guys and chat with us is because I know loads of you guys out there in my community are around the same age as me, and are, we're getting to that age where you start to feel changes and you start to feel influenced by certain things, and you can feel a little bit out of control. So I'm personally sort of just working with Pamela myself, actually, which is how I've got to know a little bit more about her, and have been on one of her retreats as well. And I think what I really wanted to get you on was, because when you're a solo entrepreneur, as most of the guys out there are, there's an awful lot on your plate. Most of the guys in my community are also mums. So they're handling children, they're handling jobs, they're handling family, they're handling their own business. And everything can feel slightly out of control. And I really wanted to get you on to talk to them about ways that perhaps they could gain a little bit more control in a holistic way, because again, all you guys out there, they're very much around the natural, the organic. They're the kind of brands that they're building themselves.
Fantastic.
And so we would love some advice, please.
Yeah. Oh, and women are so busy, aren't we? You just explained it all, the family, the children. you know, the work commitments, and also, you know, looking after yourself as well at the same time, and that's a lot for us to juggle, and it can over time have an impact on our wellness, and particularly as we approach kind of the end of our fertile years, then we don't really manage stress as well, and that's where the little crack starts to show.
And we kind of put ourselves last in line, don't we, as well? I think that's a really, really, you know, we perhaps put everything else ahead of that as well.
Exactly. I think that probably comes from our parents and their parents. You know, women kind of did that thing, you know, everybody else got fed first before we ate. And, you know, I think it's when you have children, that's probably when it starts, but I think it's something that we've learned from our mums and therefore their mums. But actually, you know, we all know when we go on an aeroplane, they always say put your own oxygen mask on first, and how many of us actually do that in reality? But it's so important. If we aren't coping, we don't feel grounded, we don't feel that we can cope, then everything falls apart, doesn't it? Eventually. Might not be today, but, you know, years, months down the line, definitely.
So give us some sort of huge amounts. I mean, and this is why there's such a wonderful crossover here, and why I wanted to get you on, because so much work that the founders who are in my community do, all you guys out there, is all around wellness, because beauty's merged very much with the wellness world, and most of the guys out there who are establishing these brands have done so with really kind of heartfelt reasons from that wellness angle. And that's certainly what they're trying to deliver to their customers through the products that they make and their own communities that they're building. But they do then suffer themselves. So this is their time to spend a little bit of time with you and find out sort of what sort of things they can be doing. And I guess one of your key things is around nutrition, and that's a particularly interesting area, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I do work with the women holistically, but nutrition is definitely something that a lot of women kind of give up on. And so, you know, great that you're using organic products on your skin and hair and beauty products, which is great. That's one way to look after yourself, definitely. And obviously, your audience are advocates of that, because that's what they do, which is brilliant, because we need more on the market, definitely. And we need to sing that tune wide and far so that other women take that on as well. But yeah, nutrition is definitely, you know, has a massive impact on how we can cope and on our hormones and our mood and our energy. And there are some foundational things I think that women need to do first. There's all the other stuff, taking supplements, all great, but let's get the foundations right. And literally, you know, let's just have a look at, you know, what you're eating, what time you're eating, what time do you have breakfast, for example. You know, do you get everybody else's breakfast and not eat anything until 11 o'clock? You know, ideally what you want to do is eat within an hour of waking. Yeah, so when you wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and then what is it you're having? And we've been bombarded for years and years and years by big companies saying, this is what you have for breakfast. It comes in a box, or it comes in a bag that you have to then pop into a machine toaster. And then you have to spread it with something sweet, and that's breakfast. Or you add some milk into it, and that's breakfast. And so we've been kind of brainwashed thinking that breakfast is this type of food, lunch is this type of food, and dinner is this type of food. And if we go back to, you know, hundreds of years ago, before we had, you know, those brands that told us that breakfast needed to come in a box, we just get anything. And so my challenge is to you, if you're watching, is to have a look at your breakfast. What are you eating? Have a look at the package. You know, what are the lists of ingredients in there? Are there, you know, full of chemicals, for example? How much protein is in there? So I would say is just get rid of all those breakfast-y type things and go for eggs is easy, absolutely, but there's things like sardines that you can have as well, and have vegetables for breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, it might sound a bit odd, but you know, the health and wellness industry is saying that you know, what we want to have is between 7 and 10 a day, whereas I don't know, 10 years ago they were saying 5 a day.
It was always 5 a day,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you're aiming for 5, you're only going to get 3 in, and we
Yeah.
need up to 10. But 7 would be good. So if you aim for 7 and you got 5, then that's great. But if you're aiming for 10 and you get 7, that's wonderful. Very hard to get 10 in, I must say, on every day. So breakfast is a really good opportunity to get some vegetables in. You know, it could be a smoothie, for example.
I do it through the smoothie way, actually, because we've all been brought up with cereal or toast, absolutely. And so I do it through the smoothie way, and I think it's quite easy to get vegetables into a smoothie and still have a smoothie that tastes nice at the end of it, because you can put things like ginger in or mint in, and it makes it quite palatable, actually. And so that's how I've been doing it since I've been thinking, right, I've got to get some veg in at breakfast. You can nail a couple of you a day by the time 8 o'clock's come round.
Exactly. It's funny because the other day on my Facebook page I posted my breakfast, and it was sardines and broccoli, and I said, how, would you consider having vegetables for breakfast? And it was quite interesting. Most people that commented said yes, but there was a whole lot of people that probably think, oh my god, I just couldn't do that. And I get that, but then if you can't, then have a smoothie. If you're going to have that cereal or toast or whatever, then have a smoothie packed with protein. And most people go wrong when it comes to smoothie. They think it needs to be sweet. I'd only recommend one fruit. So either if you're having 2 fruits, then it's like half a banana and a few berries. That's it, and the rest of it vegetables. And it needs to have healthy fats in. So avocado is great for that. And
gives it a really nice creamy texture as well.
It's
actually,
lovely, isn't it?
I've started putting them in smoothies, just a half one in each one, and it's got lovely texture,
really
like having
nice.
a proper sort of shop bought smoothie as opposed to a whisked up on your own one.
Really nice. And some vegetables, herbs, coriander, which is great for detoxifying the liver, and like you said, mint. I had mint in mine today. It's really nice, actually. And even parsley as well. They're really good for as hormonally as well. So have a look at your breakfast and make sure that it is high in protein and fats with some fibre, and your fibre comes from like vegetables or fruit. So that's what I would say for breakfast, and then have that in an hour from waking. And then lunch, most people have sandwich. Some more carbohydrates. But again, I would say move away from that. Have, in the winter, soups are great. Lentil soups and protein in there. And, make your soups. You can store them in the freezer, store them in a glass container rather than plastic if you can. And nice salads in the summer as well. And you can put some fruit in there. So the oranges are quite nice in a salad, aren't they? So you've got that vitamin C. Vitamin C actually increases your energy, and it supports your hormones as well. So mid-afternoon, if you're having a bit of a mid-afternoon slump, then vitamin C is great for that as well. So and then again, making sure you're having lots of protein. So if you eat meat or not eat meat, it doesn't matter, but you can add some seeds on, just lifting it up, some healthy fats. The slimming industry sadly has told us that we shouldn't eat fats, but we actually need fats. Definitely is. When we look at our sex hormones, the sort of grandmother and grandfather is one, fats, cholesterol, we need it, and the other is vitamin D. So they are so important, and they help us then make our sex hormones. So lunch, I would say, just have a mixture of vegetables and fruit perhaps as well, and some healthy fats and healthy proteins. And then your evening meal, try and have that at least 3 hours before you go to sleep.
Oh, this is so difficult. I definitely don't do this. I'm hopeless at this. Because it gives you time to eat and digest. And
Yeah, ideally, in an ideal world, you want to have your evening meal early, so that you do digest it before bed. And again, you know, what do you have regularly? Is it then pasta? You know, is it then pizza? You know, is it more carbohydrates? And a lot of women, as they're approaching that perimenopausal years and menopause, don't do well on heavy carbohydrate meals. So again, have a look at what you're eating, make sure it's rich in protein and your fats as well, healthy fats. And so they're the basics. Now if you need a little bit of a snack, if you're craving sugars for example, or you're not sleeping, then it might mean that you might need some little bit more food in between, so you might need a snack. If your blood sugar levels are balanced, you don't really crave sugars. You know, you can walk past the counter in the shop that sells the chocolates and all those
I'm laughing because I failed miserably at this today. I've got a sherbet fountain waiting in the car for afterwards, and I did think the irony of buying a sherbet fountain on the way to see you. It did make me chuckle as I did it.
That's hilarious.
I know, it's not a good advert.
It's so funny because I used to love sherbet fountains.
Yeah, I couldn't resist it. It was right by the till.
Yeah, but if your blood sugar levels are balanced, you don't even see them. You don't even feel it because you are so nourished that your body isn't craving those foods at all, so you'll just bypass it. You won't have that by me. You won't have that kind of pull in. But enjoy it in the car. Don't get it everywhere.
Yes. So what you were saying about by being balanced then, that's what having the vegetables, the fruits, the protein, the fat, the bit of carbohydrate, a little bit as such, and you kind of are trying to balance everything out, although perhaps we want a little bit less carbohydrate because of the sort of age that we are. And by really thinking about the meals that we eat, then we can gain more energy or sleep better. How is it going to affect us? Because I think we kind of know we need to eat more veg. I think the thing about fat is really interesting because we all go no fat. So that's really interesting. But why will we feel better? How will it make us sort of perform better if we kind of think much more carefully about those sorts of things?
Yeah, so when we eat fats, when we eat proteins, it supports our energy systems in our body, and it also supports our hormones, sort of the baselines of our hormones. So I don't want to get too technical into what things are, but our ovaries are a source of energy, okay, because they produce an egg every month. And so as we approach the menopause, we can start to feel less energized, particularly around your period. So if your cycle's 28 days, maybe on day 27, day 28, day 1, the day you start bleeding, up to day 5, say, you might feel a bit sluggish and a bit tired. Now, as we approach menopause, that can get worse, significantly worse, and that's because the ovaries are kind of slowing down. So it
gets the period we're tired gets longer, or the tiredness gets more intense, or
yes, it gets longer or more intense, and they're kind of a bit of red flags that something's not quite right. So eating more fats and eating more proteins can mitigate that, definitely. So it can support you energy-wise. And it can also help with sleep as well. So if you're struggling to get to sleep, so for example,
you don't. I know you don't. We've had this conversation, and Pamela's like, "No, I sleep really well." And she asked me how I slept. I was like, "Awfully." Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, and so many people do, and it becomes normal, and they think it's normal.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because whenever you ask most people about sleep, it's like, I don't sleep well, but you kind of accept that that's a normality, and it was a real eye-opener for me to hear that actually that's not necessarily normal, and there is something that you can do about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So it depends whether you are the type of person that goes to bed, and as soon as your head hits a pillow, you're wide awake. You know, you're just thinking about what you haven't done, what you should do. You're up several times, writing a list. or even emailing yourself in the middle of the night. I've heard that before.
I know, and I know some of the guys who'll be listening to this will be going, yeah, that's me, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's like, you know, that interruption, but then when you get to sleep, you'll stay asleep. So there's something that's stopping you going to sleep in the first place. And then there's the type of person that gets to sleep, then they're waking, you know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or even waking at 5.
Every hour.
Every
yeah.
hour.
Every hour.
God, every hour. God. Right,
Yeah.
so, yeah, which isn't great, is it? It's not great. It means you're not having, you know, quality sleep. Yeah, and that's just going to affect you eventually. And obviously we're doing some testing around that, aren't we? So
yeah.
when we get the results back, that'll be really good, and they give us some insights of what's happening there. So there's 2 types, but basically your sleep hormone is called melatonin, and yeah, it comes out at night time. So it comes out when the moon is out.
Yeah.
And we know it makes us have deep sleep, and also it's an antioxidant. So it protects our immune system as well. So it's really important that we sleep.
Oh, because of course, if you're not sleeping very well, then the melatonin isn't having enough time to do the healing that it's programmed to do overnight while you're having downtime. Yeah. Right, okay, yeah.
So there's a few things that can stop your body producing melatonin. It has to be dark long enough for it to come out. So watching the television, being on your mobile phone, emailing yourself at bedtime, being on social media, that blue light that's emitted from you know, devices. Yeah. So that tells your brain to wake up. So that's an artificial morning, I guess. So that can stop you producing melatonin. And then they've actually found out that there's 80% of melatonin is made in the gut, and the remaining is in your pineal gland in your brain. So then there's a gut health issue. Yeah. If for example you don't do any of those blue lights, you have 2 hours before bed, you switch
winding down,
you have a really nice bedtime routine, a bath and meditation, or listen to a podcast or read a book or whatever, but you still aren't sleeping, then it's like, well, what else is the problem? Is it a gut health? But then there's also other things like, you know, estrogen, for example. That's part of the pathway. So if your estrogen levels are low, that could also be the problem. So it's not one thing, it's a combination of all things. But I would say the first thing to do is have a look at your time that you're spent looking at blue light in the evening, for sure. There are things that you can do. There's an app you can put on your laptop or a desktop called Flux, Flux, and that gives you like an orange light, and so that reduces that blue light.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So, for example, some of my clients are self-employed, and they're replying back to clients at night when the children are in bed. So I really understand this. Yeah, that's the only time that you can actually do that kind of thing. So just be smart. If you need to do that, then download that app. You can also get these orange glasses from Amazon. Yeah, and you can use that, and that will just reduce the blue light. If you have a smartphone, so on my phone, I've got an iPhone, and there is an orange filter on that as well. So it's not going to get rid of it totally, but it will reduce how much you're exposed to it. So if that's what's causing your sleep problem, then that's a good way to do that.
And all of those are useful for you guys, because a lot of people out there are definitely using their phone at night, because it is the only time when they get that quality time where they can actually work on their business. So that's a really good tip. And so what you were saying then, and going back to the gut health, then all the stuff we talked about there about eating more balanced and right back at the beginning, that all helps to make the gut better as well. So that can, all of these things are just so connected, which I find mind-boggling. I don't know about you guys, but the fact that you can have, I think I was brought up feeling that you couldn't, that you just were you. I don't know how to explain that. You were just you and you just get on with it. But to suddenly find out that actually there are really simple things that you can do which can make so much of a difference to the way that you feel, but also are able to perform when you're in a quite pressurised environment like this is really fascinating. Yeah, really fascinating.
It is. You know, going back to gut health and what the foods that you eat have an impact on that. So if you're eating lots of sugar, lots of processed foods, then your gut microbiome, so that's the bacteria in your gut, isn't kind of optimal, and therefore that in itself is a stressor to the body. It's kind of a silent stressor, because we tend to think about stress as being busy or having emotional stress, or I don't know, missing a meal, for example. That's stressful. But also your internal environment also is a stressor on the body. So if you have a diet that's heavily based on processed foods, and then you're having lots of chemicals, internally, and that's a stressor. So having, wholesome foods, foods that are made from yourself most of the time, 80% of the time. Not saying you can't have a pizza or you can't go out for a Chinese takeaway or Indian, but 80% of the time it's food that you are cooking, and you're using onion and garlic, and and your foods are colourful. That is one way to populate your gut with healthy bacteria.
Yeah.
A lot of people reach for the probiotic. Well, yeah, that's good, but it's like putting a pebble into an ocean. Let's crowd it with good stuff as well to support that probiotic in the first place. Yeah.
And this was one of the revelations of talking to you on retreat, was things like onion and garlic are really, really good. I can know probiotics. Am I saying it right? Yeah. So and how prebiotics?
No, sorry, they are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to put you right on the spot. I completely confuse you.
They are prebiotics.
Yeah.
Before. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, and we all, whenever we cook, literally, it completely transformed the way I looked at the common onion. I was like, wow, the onion is so powerful.
Yeah.
And you could put onion in everything.
Yeah.
Just everything you cook.
If
you cook from scratch,
exactly.
Onion goes
in
absolutely everything.
Onions. Oh, they're so lovely.
Yeah.
Because now it's skin like a whole onion.
Yeah. Oh my God, roasted onions. I used to do that on my allotment. But yeah, so things like onions, garlic, really, really easy.
Banana's also a prebiotic as well. Green tea, very, very dark chocolate. Yeah, so that really dark,
the really bitter one.
Chocolate as well, which I just love. They're all prebiotics.
Yeah, and so they're all just fantastically awesome to put in the gut.
Yeah.
Having a really healthy gut, it just makes makes other things healthy.
Absolutely.
Helps to balance the hormones.
Absolutely.
It seems so simple when you put it like that.
But here's another simple thing. So you could have the best diet in the world, but if you're not chewing your food well.
Oh no, don't.
This is funny. We did this on YouTube, didn't we? But it's so true. We have to chew our food, and like if you're busy, so if you're a busy mom, and you've got a business, and you're just eating perhaps just because you need to eat.
Yeah.
But it's really important to
rushing in between.
Yeah, to actually
things.
Eat your food and chew well, because you can have the best diet in the world, but if you are literally just throwing it in, then you're not going to absorb the nutrients. So we have to chew. The guidelines is chew between 20 and 40 times before swallowing.
So anybody who watches this, I challenge you to go and give that a go. Because until you give that a go, you have no idea how long. Chewing something between even just 20, you have no idea how long that takes it. But it does highlight the fact that actually we do tend to bolt food.
Absolutely.
The lifestyles that we lead, particularly you guys out there, and the way we run our own businesses, we do tend to eat on the go. I'm bolting between things. I've done it on the way here. I've picked up a sandwich from from Tesco's and eaten it while I was driving and everything
exactly,
else. So it's important to try and sit down and take a bit of time and make sure you are actually processing the food.
Because you know we were given teeth for a reason.
Yeah.
And when we chew, we release like digestive enzymes. And if you're not producing enough digestive enzymes, that means that you're not be able to break down the foods and the nutrients from the foods that you're eating, so that you take those on and they support your brain, they support your energy systems, they support your hormones. And so it's such a simple thing that you can do, and it's great to teach your children that the basics of sitting down at a table. You know, take away the television, don't watch the news while you're eating because that's stressful. And, you know, sit and chew your food well. You know, a lot of people go, oh, it's going to be mushy, but actually it's meant to be mushy. That's what we have teeth for. But even also chewing your smoothies just slightly as well.
Gosh, yeah, okay, it's fascinating. So I think we're looking for just like a few really top tips. So I think the top tip one is to, even if you're the healthiest of people and you have the healthiest of diets, if you're not chewing the food, you're not getting the real benefit out of it. So one thing that we can all do, busy beautypreneurs out there, is chew our food more. Try it at least 20 times. Don't be in a rush when you give that one a go, though, I'm just saying. We can eat more things like garlic and onions, which help to make our gut a healthier place.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can cook or try and prepare as much food ourselves rather than buying in.
Yeah, about 8% of the time.
Yeah, and pack that full of as many vegetables.
Yeah, colourful vegetables.
Yeah. We're allowed to eat fats, particularly avocados. We all love avocados. We're okay. That's okay. We don't have to feel guilty about an avocado, which is brilliant. What else? Anything else that's really, really important that would help us really keep ourselves at the top of our game, really, and alert and awake and functioning?
Protein, definitely. Is more, we kind of touched on that a little bit earlier, didn't we, about carbohydrates. You know, most people are having cereal, toast for breakfast, toast for lunch, pasta at dinner. Is to have a look at that and see what is the main food that you're eating. Try and up your protein. It will make such a difference, honestly. So, for example, that woman that can't get to sleep because the brain's kind of all over the place, having something just before bed. 30 minutes before bed, a little bit of protein works a treat. So it could be an egg, it could be a handful of nuts, it could be some leftover chicken or something, just a tiny bit, the palm of your hand. Just half an hour before bed will just help. Because melatonin, mellow, and comes out at night, when the moon comes out, and then cortisol is kind of the opposing hormone. So cortisol comes out when the sun comes out, so in the morning. And so cortisol needs to be high so we get out of bed. And this is a prehistoric hormone. So I imagine sort of in the prehistoric days, we had to go out and hunt for food in the morning. So we need lots of energy in the morning to get out of the caves and go hunt for food. Obviously, a cave is just our bedroom nowadays. And go and hunt for food. So that energy in the morning is used for our survival. And as the day progresses, the cortisol level starts to decline, and so you might have a bit of a blip around that 3 o'clock time. So if you are, then this is a great opportunity to. You could make a smoothie, and you could add some powerful antioxidants here, because antioxidants give us energy. So some protein, absolutely. So remember, all smoothies have to have protein and fats. Now, your antioxidants could be berries, could be cinnamon, for example. So you could put some cinnamon in there, spirulina, which is really good as well, Swiss chard, which is great, avocado. So have a bit of a mid-afternoon at 3 o'clock if you're struggling for energy then. and that will pick you up and help you through the rest of your day. And then cortisol should start to decline when the moon comes out, so it swaps over. So your melatonin then comes out.
Yeah.
But if you're waking 2, 3, 4 in the morning every hour, then that's a sure sign that your cortisol is misbehaving. It's taking its place of the melatonin, and therefore that's why you're waking. The other thing about cortisol, that morning cortisol, it should be high, but for some women, I think when we use cortisol and to the point where it's waking us up in the night, eventually what will happen, the body will go, I can't cope anymore, this is too much cortisol that's been thrown out, and then you'll struggle in the morning. Yeah. So that's the reverse of that.
Yeah, so it's almost like there's none left. By the time you get to the morning, there's none left then to wake you up, which can be why sometimes we feel really like, really, really sluggish.
And that's a point where it's not irreversible, but this is something significant. It's almost like your body is on limp mode. The car is not working anymore, and that morning cortisol sort of does a job for us as well. It prevents us from getting autoimmunity. So if that's happening, we need to reverse that. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. God, it is just so fascinating. It completely has just knowing that you can be very much in control of yourself in some of the simplest ways, actually, things like just chewing better, being very careful. Why can too much carbohydrate make us maybe not feel so good?
Because because it depends where you are.
Is it because we eat it to the detriment of the other things?
Yes.
Normally, yeah.
I think it's the balance of it. Most of us, because it's easy.
Oh God, yeah, it's so easy.
It's easy to open a bag and get a bagel out and put it in a toaster.
Toast for every meal.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to boil pasta and throw a tomato jar on it and some meat and call that a meal. It's easy. And I think, I'm a 60s baby, mid-60s, and in the 70s, ready-made food came in, the 70s and the 80s, particularly the 80s, ready-made food came in. I mean, it takes, my niece, bless her, she's a vegan, and she saw us in the kitchen for 2 hours cooking a meal. I said, well, can you imagine, your mum, probably not your mum, but her grandmother probably did that. They cooked all day. Women didn't go out to work. They cooked and cleaned and washed the house, and that was it. And they were knackered, weren't they? Yeah. Because it took a long time. And then convenience food came in, which was great, because that meant that women could go out to work and, children could fend for themselves. But actually, it's a bit detrimental to our health because we've now forgotten the art of cooking and what it actually means to sit around the table with your family and have a meal, and how that's impacted our health. And so you might be thinking, well, what's that got to do with my hormones? Because my hormones is just my ovaries. No, they're not.
Yeah, I know, this is another thing. It's fascinating,
Yeah, your ovaries is part of the collection of your gut health, your liver health, your brain health, and therefore food has an impact on all of those systems, which means that impacts your hormones. Just like, the lotions and potions we put on our skin, that impacts our hormones. Yeah.
And I think we get so we quite often disassociate food with weight.
Yeah.
Food and weight, and I don't think sometimes we make that connection that food, of course, has an impact on your weight, but actually it has an impact on so much more that we never see. We see weight, and we know we feel good, we know we feel bad, but we look in the mirror, but we don't actually see the relationship between food and what's happening internally. So it's not something that I think we're particularly aware of. And it's not overly difficult well, it isn't difficult at all to make those basic changes that you've talked about, with just increasing vegetables, healthy fats, chewing food,
Reducing blue light. Yeah, and they are really foundational stuff that anybody can do. And I think, if you are busy, it's just to kind of assess where you are today and start with one thing. So, for example, if, you're not eating breakfast within an hour of waking, is to make a conscious effort and do that and have a look at your breakfast. Make sure that it's packed with fats and proteins and some fibre as well. Just do that. Do one thing. Do that for 28 days. You've nailed it then.
Yeah.
Start with the next thing.
Yeah.
It'll make a difference. Just that one thing will make a huge difference.
Yeah, and it can, and things can make a difference. Yeah, they can make a difference quite quickly. I mean, my sleep has certainly improved. I was a wake up every hour kind of girl. I actually managed to probably only wake up once now at night.
Fabulous.
So you see big differences.
That's from my retreat then?
Yeah,
Amazing.
just from so that's a month of being much more conscious about a few different things. And it's had a very, very quick effect. And that in itself is just, for those of us out there who do suffer from the sleep, just getting a bit more sleep is just an incredible, the energy that you get in the morning just for waking up and realising that you've had some sleep. Even just knowing you've had some sleep is a positive thing. So it's a really, really good thing. Now, where can we find you, Pamela? Because one thing about Pamela is she is so, well, you're talking about these things all the time. You're always out there. So we can go and follow you on Instagram. That's your main platform, isn't it? You've got a website?
Yeah, so our website is smarterchange.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah. So my website's there. There's a few things that you can opt in for, a few freebies.
Oh,
that you can
good.
opt in for.
Please tell us what they are.
So there's a perimenopausal webinar that I did. So if you're not quite sure whether you are perimenopause or you're not sure what's happening to your hormones as they change, then there's a webinar that you can download there. So it explains everything. There's also a relaxation recording that I actually wrote myself. And it's what I wanted to do in that was say that actually reaching the menopause or heading towards menopause doesn't have to be a negative time in a woman's life, and this is what society has kind of told us. You're over the hill, you're old, you're dried up and shriveled up, and it's not true. It doesn't have to be like that, and I think we're very privileged to be in the age that we are today, 2019, to the education and knowledge that's out there available to us as women. And so I wrote that to say, well, actually, it's like puberty in reverse. And when the young girls heading to puberty now, when they start their period, they have period parties.
I know. I heard somebody say this the other day, and that is a concept that I had no idea even existed. Yeah. And I'm glad it didn't exist in my day actually. But there you go.
Well, I think it's relatively new. I mean, my daughter's 28 today, in fact. So it wasn't around when she was growing up, but they have period parties, and it's about a celebration. And so what I wrote was about celebrating that next phase in a woman's life, just like the period party. And so so you can download that as well. And the other one is, if you are struggling to find out where you need to start, what it is that you need to start on in terms of transitioning into your health journey, making it your own, I've given you some tools that you can use. So that's on my website as well, to help you work out what you need to work on first.
Oh, that's brilliant, because it is very individual. Although there's some very general things that you can be doing, but each person's sort of requirements are different. So that's going to be useful too. So that's smarterchange.co.uk.
Yeah.
Your Instagram handle is Pamela Windle Hormone Coach, isn't it?
Yeah, Hormone Coach. Yeah. And Facebook, I think it's Hormones, Health and Vitality. I think that's what it is. But it says Pamela Windle. And the thing is, I've got 2 Facebook pages because I'm also doing hypnobirthing. So if you come across,
I will find the right one. Unless any of you are into hypnobirthing as well, I will find the right ones, and I will put all of these links below the video on the Facebook page, so you'll be able to just click through from here. to find Pamela, but it's well worth a follow because it's very inspiring. And I think the message for everybody really is that you can totally own feeling better, and there are so many simple things that you can do, and you just follow along with Pamela, and she will take you on that journey, and you'll be like fired up, busy, able to do everything you need to do, smashing your business goals and all of that kind of thing in no time.
Yeah. Can I just say one more thing though?
Yeah,
before we go?
of course you can.
So I really think for the woman that's in her 40s and maybe even 50s, depending where you are, but if you're still having a menstrual cycle, this is your window of opportunity to really look after yourself, because what you have now is what you're going to have. This is the best it's going to be. So let's look after what you've got, and so doing all those things that we've just talked about is one way of doing that.
And just starting like now, don't put it off. Don't put it off. And get started. No, definitely. Oh, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Whenever I have guests on the show, I really do appreciate it. And this is the first time we've gone a little bit off industry, so it's really interesting, and I'm so pleased that you agreed to be the first guest who comes in and does something a little bit different for the crew. I'm sure you guys are going to love it, everybody who's sat there and watched it, and anybody who catches up. If you've got questions, just put them in the comments below and tag me in, and I'll make sure that I sort of get those through to Pamela so that we can come back to you on all those sorts of things. I hope you found it lovely, guys. I will see you all really, really soon. Take care. Loads of indie hugs and love. Bye. Bye.